Now, you've probably seen something on the Koch brothers and how their dizzying list of donations to political candidates and front groups are really reshaping American politics to advance their ideological agenda of economic freedom. But what you haven't seen is a mapping of how all the money moves and the different organizational entities involved and how they operate as a single entity, which we believe is really an unprecedented political entity on the American landscape, which we've never seen before. So in a few minutes, I'm going to walk you through that by using this little online tool that the International Forum on Globalization has put together called the Kochtopus, and it's on the influence of Koch cash. So Charles and David Koch have a combined net worth of $50 billion. That makes them third wealthiest in the world, according to Forbes, ranked after Carlos Slim and Bill Gates. Their profits come from oil, gas, refining, fracking, tar sands, chemical, ranching, fertilizers, forest products, a lot of dirty industries and earth-destroying activities, but their biggest source of profits, we believe, comes from the commodity speculation in oil derivatives. Now, their wealth quintupled in the past 5 or 6 years from $10 to $50 billion through the operation of their being able to do the supply and the refining and the shipping, and then be able to bet on price changes for those different commodities of energy, oil, and gas. They move their money with the help of a number of advisors to several different types of operations to control the political environment. First of which is the media manipulators. Those are press professionals who create positive media coverage favorable to the Koch's ideology. So in some of the secret strategy meetings the Kochs convene, they have some of the biggest names in the media there to hash out the ideas and create some of the thoughts that they'll share with you over the airwaves. Then, of course, they'll interview many of the experts from the think tanks to promote policy proposals for less government that protect people and the planet, but more rights for corporations. So those are the experts from the Heritage Foundation, the Cato Institute, American Enterprise Institute that you see interviewed by the media manipulators. Then, of course, there are the AstroTurf agents. Those are fake grassroots groups that project an appearance of popular support for ideas and policies that benefit big corporations. Foremost among them is Americans for Prosperity and the millions of dollars the Kochs have given to create and fund them. But now with the 2012 elections, they're moving even more millions through many different organizations to act as AstroTurf agents. Then the Wealth Warriors. These are the legions of lobbyists, armies of accountants and tax attorneys that keep wealth out of our government, like the Koch PAC, American Legislative Exchange Council, and the Chamber of Commerce, which we see are just single suckers on the larger entity of the Kochtopus. Then the congressional collaborators. That's the Koch campaign contributions that enable like-minded candidates to get elected and pass laws favorable to the Kochs. So this is a mapping of the different campaign contributions to members of Congress by the largest oil and gas contributor in Congress, which is Koch Industries, having outspent Exxon to kill climate legislation. They also are a big contributor to budget czar Paul Ryan, to Scott Walker, and to the strategist Karl Rove to make sure there are permanent majorities with their like-minded officials in Congress. Then there are the courtroom collaborators and judges that get appointed by those elected officials, resulting in rulings like the Citizens United decision of the Supreme Court that has allowed unlimited Koch cash to move through our political system. And then the minds of young people are invaded by the academic agents. Those are private contracts that the Kochs do to get their professors to teach their ideology, even in our public universities. And lastly, but also importantly, the physical force of police, military, and other security to protect them, not only at their meetings and all of their industrial operations, but overall if law breaks down, if enough Americans view this as an illegitimate system of control. Now, the Pentagon might call this full spectrum dominance. But it's something that the Kochs have managed to achieve with their $50 billion of net worth, with their 40 years of funding this different influence network. And what needs to happen now is for all the different Americans who are being affected by this, and then their different organizations and grassroots groups to come together and come up with a plan about dealing with the money in politics and the influence of Koch cash. So you can go to ifg.org and poke around this Prezi a little bit more, as we've tried to make it available to people to understand how this unprecedented political entity is organized so that Americans can get more informed and more inspired to act together.